Hey everyone, welcome back. Dev Spider here. So we're going to get started on a brand new Valheim. We're going to do some multiplayer with this one. We've got my twin brother joining us. With that, let's go ahead and jump straight into the new update with Valheim Mistlands. So to do this for multiplayer, you're going to go to Start Game. You can pick your current character. We're going to go with a brand new one. So we'll just hit New. Here you can adjust your sex, male, female, skin tone. You can go for hair, change it the way you want to. I wouldn't worry too much about that because you're mostly just going to be wearing your gear. So let's see, we'll go with, that'll work, and then we're going to have the long beard. And then hair tone, you can adjust that and the blondness of it. So you can play with the colors there to get what you want. We're going to go with a shining white. And then we'll name our character the Death Spider, of course. Then you're going to hit done. And that's just setting up your character. From there we can hit start. We had a test game just to get used to how everything was going to work again. So from there we'll start a new game. So click on start server. Crossplay if they're going to be playing on something besides just Steam. At least that's my understanding. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Then here we can set up our password. If I can type properly. We'll do new. We're going to start on a fresh seed, so we won't know where anything's at. We'll be going in completely blind. Okay, so here's our new game. Again, make sure your check marks are set. Make sure your password's set if you want to lock people out. And then we'll just hit start. If you want to join a game, you'll just click that tab up here on the top. And you can find the server that you want to join of whoever, your friend or whoever else. Alright guys, here we go. So it starts off with a little cutscene type situation. Long ago, the All-Father Odin united the worlds. He threw down his foes, cast them to the 10th world, then split the bows that held their prison to the World Tree and let it drift unanchored, a place of exile. For centuries this world slumbered uneasily, but it did not die as glacial ages passed. Kingdoms rose and fell out of sight of the gods. When Odin heard his enemies were growing once again in strength, he looked to Midgard and sent his Valkyries to scour the battlefield for the greatest of their warriors, dead to the world to be born again in Valheim. Sorry if I was a little rough on that, I was trying to read the bad text. So here we come, getting dropped in by the, I guess, the Stormcrow. So it's been a while since I've played this, so we'll get started. Like I said, we did a quick test game just to get a feel for the controls again. So hopefully we're not too bad. Okay, and here we go. So this little crow is going to show up as you go throughout the game. He's going to explain things to you, ask you to do certain things, and kind of guide you along the way. This is Hugin. Welcome to the 10th World Warrior. I'm Hugin, here to guide you in your travels. The megaliths surrounding you are these sacrificial stones. They represent the Forsaken, which you must slay in order to ascend to Valhalla. And like I said, he'll just rapidly pop up. I'm not going to read everything he says. This stone, we'll hit that. It'll mark our first boss to go fight. Now, if you're on multiplayer, you're going to want to hit this marker on the map because we're currently on the map screen. That way other players can see us. While we're here too, if you want to mark something, you can choose whatever icon you want to use. Double click. You can then name it below it, or you can click on it to put an X on it. Say you clear a dungeon and you want to mark that you've cleared that. That's what we do when we go through the barrows and tombs and everywhere else that we explore. And then delete it, just right click on it. Same thing if you die, it'll leave skull and crossbones. Just right click that and it'll come up, it'll unmark it from the map. Now let's see if Jacolin's ready to join. Hey Drac, I'm in game if you're ready to join and jump in. Okay, so once we're dropped in guys, you're going to want to walk around, punch some bushes, gather some rocks, pick up everything and anything you see. That's going to unlock recipes for you. Running, jumping, and doing any kind of action is going to skill that up. So if we go to our tab menu, here you can see it like your comp medium for message logs. You can talk to each other in game by pressing enter. Here's your skills. You'll unlock more skills as you progress through the game and equip different weapons. trophies, and friendly fire can be enabled and disabled from right here. We're leaving ours disabled because I like to shoot my brother a lot. And we should get a message when he pops in. Alright, so these are berry bushes. We're going to grab some of those for food. And you see we just unlocked torch, runic tunic, and something with berries. We're going to want to hunt animals too, so there's some deer there, but we probably can't really kill them yet. If you hit control, that's sneak. And if you sneak near things, it's going to use stamina while you move, but it's also going to improve your sneak skill. And if you look in the lower right, you can see that Jacolin just dropped in. And like I said, you can press enter, we can type messages. Have you landed yet? Okay. Alright guys, so we can go ahead and grab some of these branches. That's going to give us wood. And now we can make a club for our first weapon once we get 6 pieces of that. There's also stone. And now we can make stone axe and hammers. So to craft, just press tab. It'll open your crafting menu, and it'll tell you can click on these. These are the items we're able to craft on our bodies, which is the hammer, stone axe, club. You have to build more benches and gather more and more materials to slowly but surely increase what you can make. So right now, the first thing we want to do is get a stone axe and get a club. And you can see that we're leveling up, running and jumping as we go around, and we have no stamina. To get your stamina up, we just need to eat food, make food. You can punch these trees too, and that'll give you wood. Right, and this is the easiest of the enemies, the grayling. You can just punch him to death usually. If you right click, you can block if you have like weapons and shields equipped. They don't really drop any valuable loot. Resin can be used to recharge your standing torches. Alright, so it looks like Jacolin's here. Hey, make sure you equip the marker on the map so I can see you. So we're going to make us a stone axe. And then we'll make a club next. And from here, we're going to want to find like a level ground, a nice little place to build. I usually like to build near water. I guess we can head towards the main boss spawn to build our first base, right? There's some water near it. Alright, so watch your hit points. If you look at the lower left, you'll see a fork. There's 3 slots above that fork. That is our food. So you can eat 3 different types of food, and that will boost your stamina and your health. So like right now, if we eat a berry, you can see that our hit point bar increased its maximum amount, and we gained a little extra stamina. There's mushrooms we can gather, and so we now have 2 pieces of food in our slot, increasing those stats. And from there, we could add a piece of meat if we can't make something else. Let's go and get a club for fighting, and just start scaling up that specific weapon type. And again, so if we hit tab and you look at the top right here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That is going to be our hot slots, so you can just press that number key in relation to swap to that item. Currently we have a torch, stone axe, and a club. And from there, the rest of its inventory space. Then we also have weight right here, so you can either hold as much as your inventory allows or wait. So from there, we're just going to head over here towards the boss spawn. And once we get over here to the boss spawn, we'll find us a nice little spot to build. Okay, these are boars. We're going to need their leather hide. So they just gave us boar trophy, meat, and leather scraps. And Jacolin, you get any tips, man, feel free to share them with everybody. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the tree cutting. Watch out for the trees when you cut them down, because if they fall on you or roll into you too hard, they will kill you. And they'll kill your enemies too. Okay, so while we're running around, you can press R to put your weapons away to sheathe them so that you can run faster. And then this marker right here, this will be the first boss spawn. So you can read these red runestones. They're scattered across the map also in random locations to give you tips. Like right here it says hunt his kin. That means go kill deer, collect their heads. Like the boar head that we have, that's a trophy, you can get deer heads. You're going to need 2 of those to spawn this guy. And you want to spawn him pretty quick just because he's going to allow you to get the pickaxe so that you can do mining. Alright, so from here I like to find some water. Hey Drax, I'm over here at the boss spawn place. Have you found the ocean yet? Is it near us? And then space is jump, controls crouch to do your sneak. Shift is run. Pretty much the same controls as most games. And then that bar in the center right now, that's our stamina. You're going to hate that bar. It's going to remind you that you're in trouble. Hey, yeah, there's a nice flat plain right here next to the boss thing where I'm at now. And then across the map, you're going to find these little houses, pre-existing houses. It's good to tear these down for materials. If you go inside, you can find chests. And what are those things called? Beehives? Yeah, and from the beehives, you can get the queen bee and use that to build your own beehives to collect honey. You're going to need a lot of honey. So make sure you're going to want to use bow and arrows to collect it because bees will poison you. So keep your distance. So since we don't have a pickaxe yet, we want to kind of find a nice little flat area to build in with not too many boulders because we can't destroy those just yet. And you want to kind of be near trees because you're going to need a lot of wood. So I guess we can build over here. And you want to build near water normally. At least in my opinion. I think it's best. Jack might disagree. But that way we can, when we build a boat later on in the game, well, we have an easy way to build docks to get in and out if we decide to keep our main base here. And then you're going to find these stone markers like this and some other ones. If you look under it, like right here, skeletal remains and amber pearl. So you're going to want to loot that. And then some of these other ones, I'll try to point it out when I see one. But it'll look like a round set of stones or any type of strange stone ornament. If you dig around it and under it later on in the game, you can typically find treasure hidden. I guess we'll build right here in this spot I'm standing now. We should be able to smooth this out some. So to build, we're going to have to set up, we're going to have to gather some wood. So I'm going to gather wood until my inventory is full. And then we'll go over building our first little building. So Drac, you want to come over here and check it out? Make sure you think we're good? Alright, so while we're harvesting trees, like I said, you can punch and cut down these little ones. And the beech trees. And the same with these larger ones, they're beech trees too, so we can hack on those, eventually we'll knock them down. And we'll get better stuff later on. Like I said, the game starts off really slow. So don't get disheartened, it'll speed up. And then, again, make sure you avoid them when they fall. And you see they're doing damage to everything they hit when they fall. So you want to usually cut towards the top of this hill and let the stuff try to roll down and damage as many trees as it can. Now certain tree types, like this birch right here, we can't hurt that yet. We need a better tool. The same thing for like that large oak over there. No, not yet. I was gonna go over that once I got a bunch of wood built up. So once the trees are cut down these logs, you gotta hit them again, and then they'll go into a 2-section log. So that's like a full-size tree. You'll cut this, it'll go into 2 logs, and then you cut these logs, and they go down into the wood that you need. And I like to try to hit multiples at once just to save time. All right, so you can see Jacal went ahead and laid down the one of the workbenches. You're gonna need multiple of these, and when you lay these crafting workbenches down, it's gonna give you recipes like you see popping up on the screen. Now for the workbench, when you lay it down, you're going to also want to put walls on either side of it and then put a small roof over it. And that way it unlocks more recipes. And then you can talk to Hugin again. He'll tell you what's going on. We're going to have to gather more resources and get some flint and stuff together to go ahead and start leveling out this plane so we can build a house here. When you build your first base, don't really count on it being your main base. It's just going to be like an outpost until you find the spot you want to live. And I personally advise, and I think Jacalan agrees with me, we like to live where there's better resources than here. Because there's a lot of crops and things that you can only gather and grow on certain areas. Alright, so if you want to build like you see Jacalan doing right now, you're going to go to tab and get your hammer and create it. It's going to take 3 wood, 2 stone. And now we've got to build piece, torch, and a couple other things that we can build, like cooking stations, workbenches. It just flies by, so we'll go over this as we need it. Okay, so to build, we can equip our hammer, and then you'll just right mouse button. And after you click the right mouse button, you'll see this crafting menu pop up. With this crafting menu, there's tabs at the top. That's going to allow you to build different things. Some of the first things you're going to want to build, like I said, you're going to want to build the workbench. You're going to want to build a cooking station. That needs to be placed over the top of a campfire. To build a campfire, I think we're going to need more stone. Yep, we're going to need to gather more stone. Under building is going to be all of your housing building pieces, like you see him laying 4 pieces and wall pieces. And then we have furniture, so we're going to want to put down chests. We want to do like standing wood torches so we can see. And then you're going to want to do a bed and sink to your bed. So as you're building roof pieces and stuff, let me go ahead and get off the hammer. So it looks like you put up 45s. Yeah, so you have different roof angles. So you have the 45s and the 26 degrees. And everything in here meshes together pretty well. And the building system is really great. Yeah, we'll go over the cook fires in a minute, but if you need your cook fire to be inside or at least covered so it doesn't get put out by the rain. You don't want to smother it where it can't get any air because then it'll put itself out. And at the same time, you don't want it so tightly packed in your house without a chimney. You're going to want to build like a makeshift chimney over it so that the smoke will leave the building. Alright, so say we wanted to add a wall piece here. It's a little finicky sometimes getting it to mesh up where you want it. It has snap, and you can disable snap. All the controls are listed in the lower right. And once you have it snapped to where you want it, you can rotate it like you see the piece I'm doing right here behind him. From there, you can pretty much design whatever building you want and make it look nice. And this is not all the building materials. It's not even close. The further you progress, the more stuff you get unlock, the higher quality materials you get, like stone, iron, granite I think is what they just added, or black marble. Alright, so then the other thing to see too, when you place a workbench, it's going to have this white circle around it. You can only build within that white circle. So if you want to build anything else, you need to put down another workbench to cover that. So say here we'll come into crafting, we'll grab a workbench, and we can place it here. You'll see the circle of where it's going to land. And you can have that overlap your other circles to increase your building radius. Okay, so now that he's got 2 standing torches up to where we can see in here, and he's got this with a cover over it, we can press E at the workbench. It's going to give us even more crafting options. And this is one of the most important things to go over too. This hammer icon right here, use that to repair your items, and just rapidly click it and you'll repair everything. So do that every time you come to your base or go to leave. Make sure you repair your items. The next thing we need to build our base even better is we're going to want to build the hoe. So we're going to craft one of those. I thought it used to take flint, but I guess it takes stone now, so we're going to craft one. Alright, with that, it says new building pieces. It's on hotbar 5. Let's go ahead and grab that. And with that, you're going to see this little yellow circle. And we can use that to tamp down the ground and level it out. So you see it's all dirt now. And just be careful, because it's really hard to do this and get it just right. So you want to start kind of from the center point of where you want your level to be based off of, and then work from there. So if it lands on high, it's going to be really, really high. And there's ways to work around this to where it shouldn't mess up. It also uses a ton of stamina, but you can see the ground's much more level. You can tell where you can build at. And you're going to be constantly interrupted by these graylings and the grey dwarves when they start coming. And while doing this, you're going to run into stones like right here in front of me. Don't worry about those. We can get rid of those later. But that's also why I didn't want to build farther down. It's because there's so much stonework. And our little bird is going to keep us busy. It's just popping up everywhere. So you might be wondering, why do you want to level your ground out? Well, there's ways to build around that, and I can go over that really fast. So you can get your hammer back out, go to building, and here we have these wooden poles. So if your ground's not perfectly level, and let me see, I can probably show that right here. Yeah, so you see this back corner and how it's floating. You can build like that to an extent, but you see how that wall is green? That means it's well supported. If it's blue, that means it's touching the ground. And the higher you build and the more free floating you make something, the more the color changes. So you see that one's green, this one's yellow, the next one should go red. And once you reach a certain extent of that, it's going to break because there's nothing to support it. So if we want to build more on this platform, all we have to do is put a beam down. And it can be kind of hard sometimes, but you got to find a point where it'll snap in. And you see there, that's blue, so it means it's supporting, which should change these colors. See that green now? And I want to say it's usually 2 blocks out. And then before it starts changing colors again. And that applies to your roof line too. I can't remember how high our castle was the last time we built one, but I think it was like 6 to 12, because you can build beams inside of your house and slowly work your way up to give it more and more support. And the better the foundation that you use, i.e. if you use, say, stone, you'll get to build more walls and roof pieces on the top and go higher. And like I said, if those big beams are too much, you can always use the smaller ones. You just got to find a point where they snap. Usually it's right towards the corners, and kind of aim at those said corners. Sometimes you gotta get on top, sometimes you can just rotate around, but you'll find the spot when you hit it. And then another way to do this too, so when you have the hoe, you should be able to do this. You can do raised ground, and it'll build the ground up underneath it. That takes 2 stone though, so it can get pretty expensive when you're building large buildings. And then you can also do the pathing, which is just a smaller version of leveling, in case you wanted to make roads leading to, say, another outpost, to like the boss spawn or something, just to make your path easier to find of which way you're going. Or if you're building a Viking village, some people like to build massive villages, you can do that too. But we like to use the level ground, and to do that while the hoe's equipped, just right click. And from there, guys, I think we've covered all the basics. At this point, you're going to want to hunt down deer and boar, gather more and more materials, build up probably to leather armor, get either the dagger or the bow ready, and then we'll go fight the first boss. And that's what me and Colin are going to do. We're going to build our base up and gather a bunch of materials. He's building some stairs right here. Probably going to put a second floor in, some storage, some beds, He's going to probably build a kitchen, or I'm going to help too, obviously. Sorry, Drac. I know you got a long list of stuff to do now, huh? Yeah, so let's make sure we hold off on the kitchen, or at least we can get it started. And then once it's time to put the fires and stuff down, we'll go over how the smoke can be blocked and unblocked. Oh yeah, another quick note, guys. So you're going to start off with a piece of gear, like right here. It's a rag tunic we can make better on the workbench. So you just go into it, hit E to use it. And right here you can make rag tunic, you can make rag pants. They're not that good. They're really not probably really worth your time. You're going to want to wait until you kill some deer. So the first thing I would go for once you get to this point is I would want to go for the crude bow. And then let me show you where you can find flint really fast. It's usually found on the shorelines. And that's going to be what allows you to make the next tier of axe, so that you can speed things up just a little bit. And you can see there's fish down here in the water. When it storms, they'll be thrown out of the water. And so you might want to gather some of those. And down here you can find tons of stone. You can find necks, these little lizard guys. You can use their tails for food. And they also drop their head, which is a trophy. And they're also good for skilling up with. Same thing with the boars. If you want to level up your blocking and stuff. So right here is a piece of flint. So it's these shiny little rocks. So we're going to pick that up, and like I said, it's always next to the water. That's going to unlock the flint axe, the flint knife, and the flint spear, and the chopping block. The chopping block is going to work hand in hand with the crafting bench, and you'll see that as you gather materials, you're going to unlock new crafting benches. They're going to up the levels of the other crafting benches and allow you to craft more items. So to build this chopping block, guys, I'm going to go ahead and gather and put some flint, and then I'll place that down. And then from there, me and Drac will start gathering up even more materials, and we'll get the base built up a little bit, and then we'll go from that to the next step. Alright guys, we just found the Black Forest. You just saw that notification pop up. Now this can be found in multiple locations, and then the bird, he'll come down and tell you some nonsense about it, like it's dangerous. It is dangerous. You don't want to go in there just yet. You want to get some stuff built and get some food made. So we're trying to sneak up on those deer now. We gotta watch our stamina. If they see you, or if the wind starts blowing and they catch that scent, they'll run. Alright, so we got this one, and once we get his materials, we'll probably see some more stuff unlocked. There we go, new building pieces, and we got a trophy also. And so we got more meat, trophy, feathers from the trees. We get seeds from the trees. And we've been finding these coins and stuff underneath those little stone platforms I was talking about. Here's some more berry bushes. And this is what I was talking about, the circle of rocks. So if you dig within this circle, you should find treasure. Another quick note, guys, too. Be careful when you're near water. You have to level up your swimming level, or you're not going to last very long. It kills your stamina. So if you just come out here and swim for a little bit, you should see your level go up pretty fast. So like right there, skill improved swim 1. So be very careful though, because you can't swim for long. Another thing to note too, you can see water droplets falling off of us. If you look at the top right next to the minimap, you can see that we are currently wet. If you stand next to a fire, you'll dry out faster. It also, like status effects like that, cold and everything, can cause you to have less stamina or less stamina regeneration. So make sure that and I think it also increases probably your food usage. I'm not 100% sure on that part, but make sure that you keep an eye on that and keep eating, keep your food up, and when it starts flashing, when it gets low. Now that we've gathered some flint, I believe we can put down the next block that we need to improve our crafting station. So to do that, pull out your hammer, right click, go to crafting, and then select the chopping block, and you'll see it right here. So we're going to place it back here to keep it out of the way. Now we can make leather tunics, leather pants, fire arrows, deer hide cape, flint head arrow, leather helmet. So if you look at the crafting workbench again, you'll see all those new recipes here. If you click on them, you can see what it costs to make them, and their star level, or I think that's also like their tier of gear, so it's like tier 2. From here, there's also a tab for upgrading, so you can upgrade your weapons, armor, tools, and everything else. It gets kind of expensive. Some of it just wants boar hide or leather scraps that you get from boars. Some want deer hide, some want stone. Some stuff wants, like right here at the club, it wants bone fragment. Upgrading it will increase its stats and make it better. From there, like I said, the next thing we'll need to make will be the tanning rack, which is going to take 15 flint, 10 wood, 20 leather scraps, 5 deer hide. And then that's going to allow us to make even more items and more crafting. So me and Drac are going to get busy crafting, hunting, gathering, and we'll see you guys in just a minute. Hey guys, so we just started getting attacked by all these animals. This is going to happen periodically. You're going to get attacked by animals and by trolls, grey dwarves, and all kinds of enemies. So you want to build up and fortify your base as soon as you can. You'll get the message like you see in the center of our screen right now, and you can see Tricolin's dying because he doesn't have any food. Don't worry about dying too much. It's not that big of a penalty unless you're just really far across the map. Now that we have a weapon, we can block by holding that right mouse button. And then let's go ahead and see if we got some berries to eat to get our stats up too. Alright, so if you block properly, you're going to see a golden bubble. That was not it, but that was a block. And when you do that, it's a perfect block, which is going to allow you to stun him briefly, and then you can do more damage. But right now we're going to fight this rally of creatures off. Which for us, this is great. Like Drac just said a minute ago, right before I started getting the recording back on. We're glad they came, because we needed the boar scraps to get our stations built up. And then Hugin here talking to us, we've been invaded. Monsters will lay siege to your camp from time to time. Strength of arms does not guarantee you victory in these situations. Build a strong defense to weather out the storm. So as we get more advanced, we can build walls, we can build spikes to go around the walls, and we can build like ballistas and other various things to keep our base safe. And we can dig trenches and make moats. But from there, we're as you can see, we're getting work done on the base slowly but surely. We're going to get the roof back up. We've put these little half walls in to allow us to have windows and natural light and a view. Like I said, build to your heart's content. This game is all about time, speed management, and food. So we're going to get a kitchen going here somewhere in a minute. I guess we'll probably maybe, since this wall's not done yet, I guess we'll put it over here on this side, Drac. What do you think? Right here? And we like to build in odd numbers so that we can center our doorways and stuff. So right now we're sitting at a, I think a 9x5. So once again, guys, we're going to get back to gathering, back to moving everything around. If you want to destroy stuff, I should have mentioned this too, I forgot. So with the hammer, if you want to debuild something like this floor, all you do is click the little mouse wheel, or click on your mouse wheel, and it'll destroy the floor. You'll get the wood back, and we'll go and put that back down. And that, guys, is how you get to building. So I know it's all fast, it's a lot of information, but we're just trying to do a quick tutorial. I know most people play the game. This is going to be more of a let's play rather than a tutorial series. Just me, Drac, and yeah, we'll keep going, and we'll see you guys in a minute once we get a little bit further along. Alright, guys, so Jacalin's just running miles ahead of us, so we're going to go ahead and catch up to him. Hopefully I still have the mats on me. But you can see he went ahead and put a bed down, and that's what I was talking about for your respawn point. If you die without a bed that you've claimed, you're going to spawn back at the rocks and have to run back to wherever you built your base. So to build that, get your hammer out, right click on that, go to the top tab at furniture, then there's your bed. We'll just place ours next to his for now, and we'll rearrange the space as we go. And then our bird's going to tell us what's going on. Then you're going to walk up to your bed, press E to claim it. Bed needs a roof to claim, so we have to finish out the roof first, and then we can spawn here. Another important note with building from furniture, one of the most important items for there is going to be the chest. So you're going to want to click on the chest. We can just slap one at the end of our bed for now. And then that gives us a place to put all of our extra resources and material. And we're going to get back to gathering. I think I'm out of stone again. Yeah, so we're going to go gather up some stone, and then we're going to start building us a kitchen right here in this empty slots. And the reason we let the floor out was so that we can place the campfire down. So we come into here, you can see it'll place there. And then here it's red, so we can't place it here. So you want to place that on the dirt. Then you'll take your cooking stations right here under the crafting menu. Click on those. And I'll show you how to place them once we get to that point, and you'll place 2 of those per fire. Well, as y'all can see, we're slowly but surely making progress on this. Right here, Drac's been working really hard on getting the second floor and the roof on so that we can get the beds and everything operational. From there, we need to work on this right here. We're going to turn this into our kitchen. So let's get our hoe out and see if we can't fix this spot a little bit. Hopefully we can bring it up some. Looks like we brought it down, so really don't want to use our stone on that, but I guess we'll spare a little bit. Drac, you got any stone on you that you can just throw down right there? So I want to pick this up just for cause, like, this is just pure aesthetics. Like, you don't have to do this, but it does make it look a lot better. Alright, so this is going to leave us a little bit of dirt in here, but I'm fine with that. If you want to get rid of all the grass and stuff, you'll have to take your foundations out and work the ground down. Like I said, this is just like a temporary outpost we're slapping together, so it's not going to be our permanent base. Some people might call it a little bit extreme, but this is what we like. Alright, so we're going to get our crafting hammer out, go to miscellaneous. We're going to get our we're going to put 3 campfires here. I like to do it per foundation block. So one there, one right there, and one there. Now 3 is definitely overkill for just 2 people. Now that smoke right there can be very dangerous. If you see the smoke icon pop up on your screen, that means that you will start taking damage and you will die quite quickly. So we need to build a fireplace to force the smoke out. So all I'm going to do is frame this in and work it all the way up to the roof. Hopefully I have enough wood and materials on me. And we can go ahead and also put these down before I use up all the wood. So these are our cooking stations. You want to do 2 per campfire. I think you can get away with 3 maybe, but 2 is more than enough for us. Alright, and then I'll tweak those to make them look nicer later. And once they're in place, the reason I'm hurrying this is because Drac is getting upset because he wants more stamina. Yeah, I feel you. So I've killed a bunch of boars. So now that we've killed the boars, we can actually use our campfires. So for the campfires, we're going to cook meat. So we've got 14 pieces of raw meat, 2 pieces of deer meat, and 2 necrotails. So that's good. What we can do with that, these are boar meat, these little chicken leg, drumstick looking things. The rib looking meat, that is from deer, and then the green tails, that's from the necks by the water. You can eat 1 of each of these to fill up your 3 bars, and that'll give you a ton of hit points and stamina. You'll notice a huge difference when you're out gathering and building. So from there, you just look at these, and you're going to press E to cook. And it's going to place 2 per rack until you run out of meat. And from here, listen until you'll hear a sizzling pop. Drac, quit building around me for a second. And that's the sound and image you're looking for. That means it's cooked. You want to pull those off in a timely manner or it's going to burn. To pull it off, just press E. It'll drop, so make sure you're standing close to it. Don't run through the fire. I don't know if Drac wants to show off again, but you can run through the fire and you'll catch on fire if you can get to it. Yeah, see? Now he's on fire. It'd be funny if he didn't have the hit points and died. What a noob getting burned by fire. Yeah, that's good stuff. Keep going. I'm just going to build up this fireplace. Alright guys, so from there, most of the fireplace is done. We need to go up to the 2nd floor and work. You can also see now that the building is getting walled in and completed and the fires are going, we're getting rested status. That's going to boost our stamina even further. The more comforts that you add to your house, bedding, chairs, decorations type stuff, all serves a purpose. So here it's going to give us rested stats and increase our stats. So make sure you do that. And make sure you complete your fireplace or your 2nd floor will smoke out. So we're going to see how much wood we have and if we can knock this out. And you can build this out of stone and anything else. Right now we're not at that level. So this is just some basic stuff. We're actually overbuilding for what we are doing. If you need to reach high ledges, you can build these ladders. They're cheap and they're extremely effective to get to high spots. So if you need to get on the roof to do some woodwork, some roofing, whatever you want to call it, these work out great. Alright, so our smoke is working here. So now we need to figure out how we're going to angle it and try to force it out there. So we should be able to cap it off up here and just leave like the center open. Then we can work on the top, but we need to be careful of the smoke. Let's see, we need to finish this floor here too, so we can make sure we get a good idea of which way it's going. You can see we're putting a lot of work too to make sure that we keep our floors and stuff going in the same direction. Because you can rotate them and make them go the opposite way if you like that. I don't like the chaos. My OCD will go crazy, so Ultra Collins. Alright, so if I stand here, I have the hit points. So if I stand here, I should eventually take smoke damage. Like right there, you see I'm smoked. And I'm losing hit points. Now, these 45-degree roofs are hard to work with because you can't try to stand on them. So I'm going to do the best I can to build right here. So we should be able to wall in more of this. Probably need to be on the outside, probably safer. Especially with all the smoke coming right to us. So we're going to find our 45s, try to match it up here. And then I can kind of get an idea of what we're going to do to get the rest of the smoke out of the building. And I can't stand here. I guess we could probably put 4 here just to keep the smoke away from us for a second. And then we'll have to build a ladder or some scaffolding on the outside. Will probably be the best way for us to finish the roof, or on the inside. Especially since I'm standing in the way of where I need to be. So now that we have the center point up top, we can put these little small roofs, if it'll let me reach. Let me get a little bit higher. As long as they don't turn solid red, we'll be good. If they're solid red and they break, we're going to have to move them. But see, they're touching on two sides, so there's a good chance that it'll be enough to hold them. Alright, so we can do something like this, and then we'll knock out that centerpiece if I can target it. Alright, so the centerpiece is knocked out. Now we need to fill in those side pieces. And so they've got different angled pieces that can do all kinds of sorts of things, so make sure you choose between the two of them if you can't find the angle that you want. Sorry, you get screen shake if you're on a like a really weird ledge. Yeah, it's kind of what we need. We just gotta figure out how to get it in there. These stairs are trying to throw me off. Okay, something like that. And like I said, you can build these a lot neater. So now I'm short on wood. I need to go get more wood, but you should see that the smoke is now coming out of that one side. Our building's not full of smoke. We're safe. We're getting rested. We'll put in some rugs and stuff later. That's going to give us more time on the rested. I do need to fill this wall in, and then we'll put like a little wall there, and it'll be like a solid chimney. So let me get that knocked out, and I'll show you in just a moment. All right, so I got some more wood. We're going to go ahead and finish up that chimney. Right here, now that the roof is mostly on, we can go ahead and claim our bed. Oh, actually, it's still not on. I guess we need to finish the center portion still. Let me see if I can't reach that in a minute. But yeah, we'll claim that. The inside chimney just needs this one more corner piece. Let me see. I think the piece we need is this, or that we used over there is this one. Alright, there we go. Nice and solid. Yeah, just a second. Let me finish going over the chimney. So that's a good thing Drac brought up. If you sleep at night, even in a multiplayer game, you all have to sleep together. But if you sleep, the day resets. Or then I guess I should say the night resets, huh? Yeah, phrasing. Yes, I need to work on that. Alright guys, so you can see right here, we got smoke coming out. I'm going to try to get it up there a little bit more. Ladder, don't fail me now. It's when you get to the top and it turns red, because sometimes it takes a second to calculate and it drops you like a bad habit. Alright, so let me start with the edges first, because I kind of like to make it look like a real chimney. Come on. And we need to protect it also from the rain still, because there's a straight shot down to one of the fires. So what we can do with that is put up like these little 1x1s or use the beams. They work nice. And I need more height for that. But then we'll take one of these little roof pieces and we'll cap it on top. And then your fires are good to go. So let me see if I can, I guess, build another ladder up there. Scary as that is. Maybe we can attach it to the chimney. No. Yeah, that's not going to help right there. It just made life hard. There we go. Doing roof working up here. Alright, so now that we're up here at the top, take these little square pieces, put one there. There, we're getting smoked out. I gotta be quick or I'm going to die. Actually, I want to use the flatter one to make it look better. If I can get the angle right on it. Might have to unlock it to do this. Come on, little piece. You can do it. Alright, let's see. I don't think I can reach the other side. Oh, yeah, I can. Well, actually, just like that, without those corner pieces would be enough because the sides are open on it, so it should still breathe. If we fall from here, we might die. Alright guys, and that should be a smoking chimney. Hey Drac, can you see if the fires are still flowing down there? Are they still getting enough air? Alright, good to go. Alright, well, I'll head down and we'll hit the rack. Alright guys, after some fancy acrobats, we finally made it back down to the base. Let's jump in the rack and take a nap. Oh, we still haven't finished the roof. We haven't finished the roof yet on my bed. And I guess we can put the beds up here to get them off the main floor and out of the way and just put them over by the chimney. That should be close enough to the fire. So you want to go grab the beds? I'll finish as much of the roof up here as I can. Alright, so let's go ahead and try to rest now. That's a spawn point has been set. And we'll lay down here and it should change the time of day. And sometimes when you lay down to rest like that, you'll have dreams and you'll get some more information and lore about the game. So it's really, really awesome feature. And like again guys, from there we're going to get back to gathering and moving along. Okay everyone, we're getting ready to go take on the first boss, god, whatever you want to call him. We're going to go fight him. Call that the end of the episode as we've gotten a lot done. You can see the base is in full swing. We've got storage everywhere. The beds are up here perfectly placed to get full benefits from the fireplace and the rug and everything downstairs so we can get rested, which you see on the top right. We're sheltered also. That's giving us more stamina. Now to go fight this boss, we're going to want to have all of our deer heads equipped to a hotspot or one of our hot slots. So we're bringing all of our trophy heads. Now this boss is weak to piercing, so if you want to bring a dagger or a bow, it works great on him, much better than clubs. We're going to bring our clubs and our bows because we're probably going to break both, killing him multiple times. In this video we're only going to go over killing him once though. And then I also want to upgrade the bow just to make sure it's better. So to upgrade, you come to your workbench, click the upgrade tab. For this one it's going to be crude bow. It's going to be 5 wood, 4 leather scraps, those come from boar, and then 1 deer hide. And there you see our durability and stats have gone up so we can get more done. So we're going to get all of our stuff put back together. And then we're going to walk over there, make sure you have food and you're ready for the longer fight. Hey, Joe, you ready to go? Alright, buddy. Let's go drop some bodies. Yep, like Joe said, killing this guy. First pickaxe, and we'll get our first special ability. So I guess we'll end the episode as soon as we turn our head in for the special ability. So to find this boss, just to recap, you can either explore the map. Most of the time there's multiple points to spawn these bosses. They all have their own areas though. For this one, to get the marker, you can just, when you spawn in where the crow drops you, look for this red stone plate, click on it, and it'll mark it on the map for you. Yeah, spears, and yeah, Joe used the dagger on our test phase, and it worked pretty well. Alright, so here we're going to have to offer our trophies to him. You just look at it and press whatever hotkey your trophy is on, and then you follow the fireflies, or the glowy dots in there. It's going to show where the boss is going to format. He's got a couple of attacks. Now, if you're weak, we're in full deer hide leather armor. Watch out for his lightning. As you can just see, he hit me from a long range. But he was dropping his hit points fast with our bows. Here comes his AoE. And I think, what was it, like 20 or 30 hit points he hits us for melee. And that was 8.3 on me. So with all of our food and our gear, we're a little bit overpowered for him. Oh yeah, even with friendly fire off, don't run in front of your partners like I just did to Jokalin, because then your arrow won't hit. At least that's what happened to me when I was trying to shoot through him. And this is by far, in my opinion, the easiest boss fight in the game. But of course it's a warm-up to mostly just introduce you how it works. And he's down, so he's going to spawn Jokalin back up. You can take his mats back up. Alright, so he's going to pop and he's going to drop off his mats. As you can see here, his trophy, his antlers. You need the antlers to make the bones, or to make the pickaxe, and then you need a trophy to get the special ability. And then we're going to start them up again, and we'll see you guys once we get done with our runs. Alright guys, so we're back where we got flown in by the storm crow. So here you can see these are all going to be bosses. We're going to bring them back here, their trophies. Just find the one that you just killed, you can bring it back here. This is the red stone marker if you don't know where to go for the first boss. And then obviously it's going to be the deer icon. So just walk up to it. And then just place your trophy on it. It'll attach. Start glowing, then we'll get jump stamina usage minus 60%. Run stamina usage minus 60%. And that's for a special power. When you use that power, you just press F as in Foxtrot, and it will activate. And it has a 20-minute cooldown. And Dracolin's over here dancing a jig for us. Let me get a screenshot of this. Well guys, as always, if you enjoyed that content, have any questions, comments, any advice for us, as always, be sure to drop that below, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next one.